The new school year is rolling in for law students and I've received a number of private messages from them asking for advice. Oo kapatid, libre lang ang chat sa akin sa Facebook at gusto ko rin matulungan kita. Sa mga nareplyan ko naman, heto ang ilang mga pahabol. Here are 30 things I wish I knew as a freshman in law school. Coming right up. Hi, my name is Lex and welcome to Lex in Motion. In this channel, I'll be helping you build your competence, confidence, and capability in law school. Start today by hitting the subscribe button below. New videos are posted every Friday. Here's an open letter, isang bukas na liham from my present to my 20-year-old self. These are bits and pieces I've learned along the harsh years of law school that I genuinely wish I knew many years ago. Isipin mo na lang kapatid na ako na ang nagdusa, nadapa at nagkamali para sa ating dalawa. Number 1, wear a watch that works, even if it's the cheapest one you can afford. Ang relo ay hindi na maituturing na palamuti lamang sa law school. It's an honest reminder of how many hours or minutes are remaining before your classes. Hindi sapat na cellphone lang kapatid dahil bawal na bawal yan kapag exam na. Kalahati ng exam sa law school ay ang pagsasaulo ng mga dapat mong aralin. The other half is managing your time and putting words on paper in the right order and in the most efficient way possible at sa loob lamang ng 2 hanggang 3 oras, depende sa professor. Number 2, present yourself in class 15 minutes before the time. This is particularly true noong mga panahong ako ay nagdodorm pa sa likod ng school. Kung wala kang travel time, maano bang pipikit ka muna saglit? Total, 6:30 pa naman ang pasok. Minsan kakain ka sa kantin, tatambay, magyoyosi. Total, late naman lagi si ma'am. Trust me kapatid, I have never been punctual in law school for quite some time. Sino ba naman kasing excited pumasok na kulang o hindi tapos sa inaral? These little things matter kapatid. The actions you repeatedly do become your habits. All of our habits make up who we really are. Make the habit of coming to class 15 minutes before the time. Dito madalas nagbubulungan ng mga friends kung saan inabot ang previous section, anong mga tinanong at ilang kaso ang nabunot. Minsan dito mo rin mababalitaan ay may surprise quiz pala. Pero relax ka lang kapatid at magpanggap na na-surprise ka rin sa surprise quiz. I've been burned before kapatid sa pagiging late. Another story at another time. Number 3, on the first day of classes, get your BEADLE'S number. BEADLE ang tawag sa pinaka-coordinator ng klase. Siya ang tulay between the class and the professor. The BEADLE almost usually gets a BEADLE bonus or incentive sa final grade. If you're a full-time student, please do take advantage of this opportunity. Wala namang malaking puhunan dito kapatid. Konting unli call and text lang, konting sipag na mag-post ng assignment for the next meeting. Volunteer to be the class BEADLE or at the very least, make sure you have your BEADLE'S number. Number 4, connected sa number 3, syempre make sure your BEADLE has your number. The most tragic thing a law student can experience is working from Friday night until Saturday morning nang walang tulog and coming to class super prepared only to find out that the BEADLE has announced a ceasefire or wala palang pasok sa Sabado. Masaklap to kapatid, naligo ka na't lahat, hindi ka man lang na-inform na wala palang pasok. Precisely because wala ang number mo sa listahan ng send to many ng BEADLE mo. For what it's worth, malamang ay hindi ka na affected dito. Noong kapanahunan namin ay wala pa yung tinatawag nilang Viber. For now, join your block's Facebook group and ask to be added in the group chat. Be updated on all class announcements, including yung mga botohan ng request for ceasefire. Number 5, get a library card. Isa sa mga pinaka-underutilized resources natin sa law school ay ang library. Madalas siyang tambayan, pamatay ng init, but there are certain resources that are available to us, but only if we ask. The key to access is the library card. Life hack din dito kapatid ay ang paggamit ng mga desktop ng law library or your computer laboratory. Almost all law schools will have access to ISCRA or CDA siya. These are costs you've already paid for during the enrollment and you might as well use them. But if and only if you have the library card. The library will also be very happy to lend you textbooks for those days you forget to bring your book or biglang walang pasok at kesa kainin lang ng traffic ang oras mo, you are better off spending a few hours in the law library and borrowing a copy of your textbook. Ayan, wala ka ngayong excuse not to study. Number 6, do not highlight everything. As Attorney Henedino Brondial discussed in our last video, do not make the mistake of highlighting everything. You have absolutely no obligation to learn everything about the law. All that is required is to have a working knowledge of your course and absolute mastery over the topics that will be useful now and in the future. One of the biggest mistakes of my freshman year was highlighting and underlining everything. Promise kapatid, ang buong family code ko sa Codal ay tumataginting na neon green. Fortunately, madaling mag-fade ang stabilo, so it's almost all gone now. Do not make the mistake of highlighting everything. Sapat na siguro na lagyan mo ng tanda ang mga topics na tinatambayan ng mga professor. Number 7, come to class even if you're not prepared. Ang bokya ay bahagi na ng buhay sa law school. Ang mga lodi, werpa at barbet, lahat yan may mga kwentong bokya. Bokya ang tawag sa Kodak moment, yung sobrang sabaw ng sagot mo sa recitation na gusto mong kainin ka na lang ng lupa. If your first recitation ends with a grade of 67, do not panic kapatid. It's not the end of the world. I've prepared a video on how to move on from a bad recitation, and I'll link it below for the description for you. Now, coming to class, even if you're not 100% prepared, takes a lot of courage. At sabi nga ni Ned Stark, the only time we can be truly brave is when we are afraid. Ang walang alam at walang takot sa klase ay wala na talagang pakialam sa law school. The point of coming to class, even when you're not ready, is to prepare you for uncertainty. You're training to be a lawyer, kapatid, and at some point, that means being quick on your feet, being brave enough to stand up for something, anything, even if you're not prepared. Second, coming to class, even if you're not ready, will allow you some benefit. Sabi nga ni Attorney Brondial, the professor's job is not necessarily to teach you the law, but to guide you, the student, in your self-study by indicating the important bits and pieces which we ought to know by heart. The professor can do this in one or two ways. First is by making classroom discussions and highlighting what is good jurisprudence, bad jurisprudence, and how the law works in practice. The second is implicit, kung saan maraming tinatawag si ma'am, kung saan umiikot ang mga hypo questions niya, ay kapatid bilugan mo na yan. Chances are dito rin siya kukuha ng mga tanong para sa midterms or final exams. Number 8, come to the very first day of class. Oo, nakakatamad pumasok lalo na kung alam mo namang wala pang professor during the first day. In the off chance na meron, please come to the first meeting. Dito usually ang announcements and house rules, especially on attendance and tardiness. Common house rules include any combination of the following. Halimbawa, if you're called to recite and you're absent, you receive a grade of 50. If you're called to recite but you have no answer, you receive a grade of 67. Now, material dang difference na yan. If you need to use the restroom, just stand up and do so discreetly. No need to ask for permission, hindi ka na kinder. If you have no absences and you have taken all the quizzes, some professors will give a +1 to the final grade. Coming to class on the first meeting will also give you valuable tips, such as the prescribed textbook or if there is none, at least matatanong mo kung ano yung textbook na ginamit ng professor mo as a law student. Huwag madaling bumili ng textbook kapatid, usually may recommendation naman dyan. Dito rin sasabihin na bawal ang book sa klase or Codal lang ang pwede or bawal ang printed notes, handwritten lang dapat. Believe me kapatid, sa panahon natin ngayon ay meron pa ring mga professors who prohibit everything. Clear desk policy, including taking down notes during his class. So be aware, be ready, and come to class on the first meeting. Number 9, find the seat near the front of the class especially if the professor is boring. Kahiyaan na lang kapatid. Sa iyong pagupo sa harapan ay mababawasan na ang tukso na mag-Facebook, maglaro at matulog, lalo na kapag boring ang professor. Find a seat sa harap, pero away from the direct line of sight of the professor. Sa direct line of sight, madalas ang bakbakan. Pag may dumaldal at nagalit si ma'am, usually sa likod na rin ang napuputukan. So safety first. Number 10, recitation anxiety is real. This is one question I get asked a lot, but I'll address this more in our future videos. For now, kapag tinawag kang mag-recite, keep your feet together and your hands at your side. Do not look at your professor's eyes, but focus instead on his or her forehead. Sa noo ang tingin. This will give the impression of confidence. Remember that your professor is a lawyer, and he or she has been trained for years to read the body language and demeanor of a witness. Your professor will know if you've studied the day's lesson pero sadyang kinapos ka na lang dahil sa halong gutom, puyat, pagod at sama ng loob. Alam din naman niya kung nambobola ka lang. For now, just listen intently to the discussion. Follow along as best as you can. Tipong confirmation na lang dapat yun ng mga pinagpuyatan mo. The worst thing you can do is to try and study during the class and miss the last question. Kung pinatayo ka at tinanong kang, "Do you agree with me so-and-so?" at hindi mo narinig yung tanong sa kanya, usually kapatid pokya na yan. The life hack here is to pretend your classmate's voice was too weak for you to hear properly at the back. I'm sorry sir, I did not hear the answer of my classmate. Balik ngayon ang bola kay classmate. Ulit siya ng sagot at malamang kung nambobola siya ay wala rin siyang sagot na matino at hindi na niya yun mauulit. You'll be given a lifeline. You'll hear the question and the answer again. But be sure you'll throw the correct "I do not agree sir because ... Be careful because this life hack can easily backfire. Nabokya ka na nga, friendship over pa kayo ng classmate mo. Number 11, volunteer more. Fair warning kapatid, not every professor allows you to volunteer for recitation. Some of them make the questions extra difficult for the brave, the few, and the ready who volunteer. Nevertheless, Attorney Bobby Locke says that volunteering is important because it isn't every day that we're able to bring our 100%, our A game, our performance level every single night. Sometimes malas lang, minsan lutang na parang si J.R. Smith nung Game 1. Mas madalas nahihiya lang din tayo. For those nights you're genuinely prepared, raise your hand and volunteer. Sulitin mo rin yung pinagpuyatan mo. As my former boss once told me, volunteering for recitation or even recitation in general is a lot like sex. The more you do it, the better you get at it. We can probably replace that with playing the piano, making free throws, or sketching. The more time, energy, and effort you exert at one thing, in our case, volunteering for recitation, ay gagaling ka rin kapatid. Kakapal din ang mukha mo at titibay rin ang iyong dibdib. Number 12, stay hydrated even during class hours. Drinking plenty of water keeps us hydrated and keeps us awake at some point. Palagi ka kasing pupunta sa restroom at sa pagtayo mo ay magigising na rin ang diwa mo. Staying hydrated only works for water because Mountain Dew, your Frappuccino, and Cobra Energy will only cause your blood glucose levels to rise and fall, often at the worst times. Gateway na rin ito ng insulin resistance kapatid, so maghunos dili ka sa matamis. Number 13, check for assignments and announcements once daily. Some law schools have this unwritten rule that it is every student's obligation to inform his or herself about the announcements, assignments, and other notices posted on the school's bulletin boards. These include reminders on exam schedules, announcements of suspensions of classes, and even the daily assignment. The same rule is true for whatever the BEADLE posts in your Facebook group for the class. Check for assignments once daily. Checking the Facebook group should not be an excuse to scroll through your feed. Kadalasan ay mapapatingin ka kung anong video na meron ng bright side or tasty. Magugutom ka kapatid or maiinggit ka kung saang beach man nagpunta ang mga friends mo. Chances are you'll be spending the next 30 minutes ordering food, booking flights, or worse, just watching more animals or funny videos from 9gag. Disiplina lang talaga, kapatid. Number 14, begin your study session with the review of your day's tasks. This means that at least the night before, nakapaglista ka na ng mga dapat mong accomplish for the day. I'll be breaking the process of goal setting and to-do lists in our future videos. For now, review your task list at the beginning of your study session. Make sure it's written because as Peter Drucker once wrote, whatever is written gets managed. It can be on paper, on your phone, or even your notes. Personally, I use OmniFocus. It's an app that keeps my to-do lists synchronized across my phone, my desktop, and my tablet. Number 15, end your study session with a reset to neutral. A clean desk is a happy desk. Spend 5 minutes at the end of every study session checking your lists, adding new things to do, and more importantly, clearing up your desk back to its normal state. Huwag kang magpapaniwala sa sarili mo kung natutokso ka na hindi magligpit. Our desks are a reflection of our inner self. Even if you're embroiled in the utter chaos that is negotiable instruments law, make the effort to clear your desk. Magpanggap ka na chill ka lang kahit nagpapanik ka na dahil sa 12 kaso baon mo lang ay 3. Number 16, visualize your day. The power of visualization is perhaps one of the most underutilized skills we have as law students. Our thoughts are things, and whatever it is we keep in our thoughts somehow manifests itself as our reality. Kung madalas mong ipinagdarasal na sana hindi ikaw ang matawag na, Lord, bukas na lang po ako babawi, ay, kapatid, ikaw naman ang natatawag. The better prayer, kapatid, is to pray for God to move you from grace to grace. Huwag mong ipagdasal na walang pasok. Ipagdasal mo na marami kang matutunan. Minsan matututo ka sa discussion. Minsan naman sa bokya na recitation. These are the universe's ways of teaching us things. Visualize correctly and you'll be able to manifest your chosen reality. Number 17, evaluate yourself daily. Full-time law students have a lot of time in their hands. Madalas dito ay natatapon lang sa landi or PUBG. Make it a point that at the end of your evening, give yourself a score out of 10. How well did you do for law school today? If you keep scoring yourself 6, 6, 7, 6.5, 7, then you're probably not doing enough. Stop treating law school as just another dream. Approach it with professionalism and giving yourself a rating every day. Remember that your parents are working very hard, either in business or as OFWs. They're putting in the time, energy, and effort to produce the money for your rent every month. In effect, they are paying you to be the very best law student you can be. You're paid good money in terms of allowance for you to be able to accomplish this dream. By giving yourself a grade daily, you'll be taking that pressure, hiya, and utang na loob into a number, a target, which you need to improve on every day. Number 18, set aside 5% of your income for law school emergencies. If you're a full-time student, I am referring to your allowance. Setting aside 5% of your income or allowance is an excellent way to instill more discipline in your life. This 5% will mean fewer frappuccinos, fewer drinks even on school nights, and fewer dinners with law school classmates. Use this 5% to meet emergencies as and when late ang baon mo at may mga bayarin ka sa apartment or supplementary textbooks na pinagkukunan daw ng mga tanong ni sir. This 5% will somehow make you feel less of a burden for your parents. Over the course of your law school career, makakaipon ka na sapat para sa post-bar celebration mo at hindi na yan kailangang gastusan pa ng mga magulang mo. Pwede ring pang down payment sa kondo, kotse, or kasal ng law school jowa mo after the bar. But if you're on your 4th year, don't worry. Material pa rin yung maiipon mo, kapatid, enough to pay for your hotel and other bar expenses. Number 19, smile at everyone. As I've mentioned in our previous videos, law school is a terrible, terrible place to be. Lahat ng tao lutang, pagod, puyat, and either too aggressive or too apathetic. Bring happiness to law school by smiling more often, even when you're hurting. Ang simpleng ngiti on your part could be the spark of inspiration na kailangan ng may crush sa'yo. Smiling is very contagious, and if enough people theoretically smile, then perhaps law school can finally become a happy place. Number 20, say thank you more often. Yung parking attendant na nag-reserve ng slot kasi nakita ka niya mula pa sa tulay ng Mendiola. The guard that greets you kahit na ang kilay mo ay hindi pantay. The librarian who smiles at you even if you're in your worst breakout in 6 months. These people deserve our gratitude. Again, by saying thank you more often, we are giving each other the drive to bring kindness in the cruel world that is law school. Say thank you to your professor at the end of your recitation. Pass or fail, he's handed you a lesson that will probably come back to you in the form of a question in the bar exam. Number 21, say no more often. Say no to toxic relationships, abusive people who are obviously weighing you down, holding you back, and keeping you from becoming the very best version of yourself. Say no to people who do not understand the struggles we have in law school. You do not need that kind of negativity in your life. I'll be making a video on reconciling law school and the adjustments that you, your family, your wife, children, or boyfriend all need to do to unlock your true potential. For now, kung yung college jower mo ay mahirap pakisamahan at kinakain na ng selos sa legit for reals na arals mo sa law library, then perhaps he's not the one for you. Number 22, say yes more often. Yes to the things that allow us to dig deep, be better, and the things that help us become more. Say yes halimbawa sa call to action for you to share this video. I want to help you kapatid, and you can help me help others too. Say yes to extra study time. Say yes to positive influences. Say yes to a barista who wants to mentor you and guide you at least during your first year. Say yes to volunteer work, especially when the law student government needs the warm bodies for bar operations, hotel ops, or relief operations sa mga binabaha. Number 23, call your parents often, even if that means having awkward pauses. There is nothing that a mother's love cannot heal. Even if you just call with little to no words said between you and your mom, she will understand you. As is often the case, the full-time law students are often motivated by the love they receive from their parents, lalo na kung sila ay nagkakaedad na. Number 24, always choose the adult thing to do. One of the biggest problems that law students face, especially for full-time students, is that feeling of insecurity, that tiny little bit of inggit. Especially sa mga kaklase natin na from high school and college, sila promotion ang nakapost sa wall nila. Ikaw, Lucky Banana or Lucky Liza Soberano to pass insurance or criminal procedure. Sila, ikinakasal na. Ikaw, tumataba lang. These insecurities come from the feeling of not accomplishing anything yet. Anything in the sense of hard, tangible accomplishments. If your friends are promoted as middle managers and receive a brand new SUV or are able to pay off a plush condo, don't worry kapatid, your time will come. In the meantime, always choose the adult thing to do. By saying yes to savings and yes to more time in law school, you are setting yourself up for your success. Huwag mainggit dahil sa tamang panahon, ikaw rin ay magwawagi. Number 25, spend your rest day with your family. I've always advocated setting aside one full day, at least 24 hours away from law school. Use this time for your family. I'll be addressing this in more detail in our coming videos on how to plan a study schedule for full-time law students, and the Friday after that for working law students naman. Spending time with your family will remind you of the simpler pleasures in life. They will allow you to push through the pain, the suffering, and the heartbreaks of struggling in law school and being away from the comfort, security, and shelter that their love provides. Number 26, spend time with yourself. Corollarily, there is much merit in the idea of spending time with yourself. Oo kapatid, 6 hours a day ay panis na ang laway mo sa kakaaral na walang kibuan. Spending time with yourself is important for your mental health. Depression is real in law school, and by spending time with yourself, you have the chance to face the demons in your head. My advice, kapatid, is to start winning today. I'll be talking more about depression and addressing your mental health in law school in our future videos. This topic is close to my heart, and I pray that you'll be able to bear your cross in law school. Number 27, find an intellectually stimulating activity outside of law school. You are in law school precisely because you want to learn. Now, the mechanisms of learning the law and learning other things are surprisingly similar. By challenging yourself to think, nadadamay na rin dyan ang capability mo as a law student. The intellectually stimulating activities I make time for include sketching, gaming, at kalkal-kotse. These are completely unrelated to law school, but the skills I pick up from visualization, problem solving, at tiyaga also translate into things that help me learn more. Number 28, corollarily, self-love is self-care and it's not selfish. Yan ang laging pabaon ni Doc Didoy Lobaton, and it also applies in law school. Taking care of yourself on the outside is just as important as the daily grind you put in for law school. Caveat lang syempre is that you schedule it correctly. Self-love could mean extra time for sleeping, making time for the gym, practicing mindfulness, or going to the salon after your Saturday classes. Number 29, never go to war against yourself. This is perhaps the biggest lesson of my 20s, and I want you to bring it home with you. Never go to war against yourself. If you're watching this as an incoming freshman, malamang ay higit 20 taon na kayong magkasama ng sarili mo. Huwag na kayong maglokohan. Kung wala sa libro ang iniisip mo at naroon sa nilalandi mo, by all means, do not go to war against yourself. Give in to your landi, bes. You only live once. But this comes with the proviso, the caveat, that all the things we do come with a particular price we have to pay. Kung inaantok ka na, itulog mo na, kapatid. Hindi na rin yan papasok sa isip mo. Just make sure hahabol ka. Kung sa iyong pagising ay tinatamad ka pa rin, alam mo at alam ng sarili mo na may bayad yan. Maaaring singilin ka sa bokya, sa bagsak na quiz, or worse, sa blind na QPI. I know that at the beginning of this video, I mentioned 30 things. But I'll stop here, kapatid. Salamat kung inabot mo tong part na to. Number 30 is that, don't stop, don't quit, and never ever give up on yourself. You have the power to write the ending to your law school story. And I hope it ends with you and me with the best version of our dreams. Thank you so much for watching. Like and share this video for good law school karma, and I'll see you next Friday.